Hi, I'm Mark, and welcome to today's practice, an energizing flow that will challenge the legs and fire up the core. If you usually practice with blocks, have those close by. Otherwise, when you're ready, let's get started. We're going to start today lying face up in Shavasana. So when you're ready, make your way down to the mats. And we're just going to spend a couple of minutes here just to create this sense of centering and alignment through the spine. So lying down face up, and then settle here with the feet about hip distance apart. Take the hands out beside the body, palms facing up. And just notice whether you feel that sense of center and alignment through the spine. It's making any little adjustments that you might need to. And as always, just taking a moment here at the start of practice to arrive, settle, ground and drop into the body. And so from here, you might even like to close the eyes down or just have a gentle softening of the eyes. Just taking a moment to settle with the body and settle with the breath. And as always, before we start practice, just taking that time to remove ourselves from the happenings of the day. Starting to remove ourselves from any external distractions, whether that's thoughts or anything else that's going on. And as we do so, it just gives us that opportunity to begin that process of dropping into the body, connecting with the breath. It's creating that sense of awareness and all those different elements and layers, physically, energetically, mentally. You might even just like to gently scan the body and just notice whether you're holding any tightness or tension anywhere. Just being aware of anything that might need a little bit more focus or care for today's practice. And then as we settle here, let's start to connect with a more conscious breath. And so as you inhale and exhale through the nostrils, take the in-breath right down to the base of the spine. And so on the inhale, we create that expansion into the belly, filling out through the ribs and opening across chest and shoulders. And just dissolving into the exhale, softening into the shoulders, relaxing into the legs. We'll take about 5 of those conscious breaths. And just noticing the qualities of the breath, so the inhale being uplifting and energizing. The exhale having that sense of grounding, settling into the body. Noticing as you focus on the breath, it helps to calm the mind, switch off external distractions, helps to become more present in the moment. And so from here, when you're ready, take the hands up and then lock the hands in together underneath the back of the head. And bring the feet in together. So we're going to start off with a little bit of core work for today's practice. And so we're going to connect with the breath as well. And so as you inhale, bring your right knee into 90 degrees. And then as you exhale, take the opposite elbow over to the knee. As you inhale, come back to the center. Then as you exhale, extend out through the leg. Changing sides. So inhale, knee lifts up. On the exhale, take the elbow across. On the in-breath, bring the shoulders back down. And on the exhale, release. We'll do that one more time. So inhale to lift, 90 degree at the knee. Exhale, twist across the diagonal. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, release. Just notice that activation into the core. Let's do one more on each side. So continue with the breath. Nice and steady. Activation through the midline. Come back to center and alignment through the spine. Good job. From here, bring the hands around beside the body. Make your way into bridge, and so bring the feet down flat and then take the heels just into that space between the thumb and the index finger. Keep the chin tucked in. And then on the next inhale, start from the tailbone, rounding up through the spine, one vertebrae at a time, lifting all the way up to the shoulder blades. Little pause at the top, and then on the exhale, slowly rolling back down. And so keep a neutral spine, just focus on the movement with the breath. Focus on the quality of movement as you lift. Hips staying square, weight even in both feet as we switch on and engage through the legs. Let's do that 2 more times. So in breath, start from the tailbone, lifting up one vertebrae at a time. Gentle pause at the top, exhale and release. Let's do that 1 more time. Good job. From here, bring both knees into the chest. Let's take the hands around the top of the knees. You might even like to make a few little movements side to side. Let's massage in the lower back into the mat. And so you've got 2 options. You can either roll over to the side or cross one ankle over the other. And just gently start to roll up and down the spine, building up enough momentum. We're going to make our way into child's pose when you're ready. So rolling up, bring the legs out behind. Take the knees out as wide as comfortably possible. Bring the big toes together. And so I want to keep a little bit more energy into the arms. And so from here, send the tailbone back, lift right up onto the fingertips. Find that length into the spine. And then take your left arm, palm facing up. Reach underneath the arm here. And as we settle down into the lower body, you can relax your left ear on the mat. So from here with the right arm extended, just start to direct the breath down the right side of the body. And so like we did in Shavasana, starting from the tailbone. And relaxing into the exhale. Do about 3 or so breaths on each side. So breathing in. Just noticing how the body begins to lengthen and soften as we continue with the breath. And then when you're ready, go ahead and change sides. Take your left arm up to the top of the mat. Take the right arm, palm facing up. Reach underneath. And then soften into the shoulders. Relax your left ear onto the mat. Come back to the breath from the tailbone. Breathing down the left side of the body. So you can even start to focus and direct the breath to the parts of the body that we want to soften or open. Maintaining that breath connection throughout practice makes it so much more effective. And then when you're ready, come back to the center. And then from here, let's make our way into downward facing dog. And so you can start with the feet roughly hip distance apart. Just take a moment to settle here. Soften the knees as much as you need to. And so lifting up through the tailbone, focusing on creating this length into the spine from the tailbone through the fingertips. Let's draw your focus back to settle with the breath. We're going to start off with a little warm-up phase, tiger curl and lunge. And so we'll do this 3 times. So on the inhale, lift your right heel up into a 3-legged dog. And on the exhale, shift forward, knee to nose, tiger curl. Inhale, heel goes up. Let's move nice and steady with the breath. On the exhale, shift forward. Last time, heel goes up, 3-legged dog. And then this time, step forward into a low lunge. So land lightly between the hands. You can lift up onto the fingertips or use the blocks. Keep the hips nice and square. And then ground your left palm down. Take a gentle twist and rotation into the right. Reach the right arm up, and then bring the right arm around behind and just gently place it onto the lower back. Settle here for a couple of breaths. Good job. Maintain that length into the spine. On the next inhale, bring your top arm all the way back over, and as you exhale, step the feet together into a forward fold. We'll soften the shoulders, let the head hang heavy. Settle here for a couple of breaths. So we're doing a nice steady variation for our salutations today. Connect with the feet on the inhale, sweep the arms out and up, reaching all the way out through the fingertips. And then on the exhale, fold forward all the way back down to the mat. On the in-breath, take a halfway lift. Then as you exhale, step back into a high plank. Settle here for roughly 3 breaths. Set up this alignment into the shoulders over the wrists, switch on nice and active into the legs. You can either take kneeling plank or cobra, otherwise on your next exhale, halfway pause in chaturanga into upward facing dog, active into the legs, get that length into the spine. And then as you exhale, return to downward facing dog. Settle here for 3 breaths. And come back to that sense of grounding into those points of contact, hands and feet. And on the next inhale, take your left leg up, 3-legged dog. We'll do the tiger curl combination. On the exhale, knee to nose, shift forward, engaging through the core. Inhale, heel goes up. For that length into the back of the body. Exhale, shift forward. Inhale, heel lifts. And this time, step forward into the low lunge, land lightly between the hands. Look for that length into the spine, grounding your right palm down or on the block. On the next inhale, take a twist and rotation in, big stretch up. Then as you exhale, bring the hand around behind to the lower back. Settle here for a couple more breaths. You can always drop the bottom knee down or the back knee down if you need to. On the next inhale, take the top arm, reach forward. Ground both hands down. On the exhale, step forward into the fold. Settle here for a couple of breaths. Let the head hang, relax the neck and shoulders. Then ground down through the feet, connect through the legs. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. All the way out through the fingertips. On the exhale, fold. Halfway lift on the in-breath. Return to high plank, step back. Settle here for 3 breaths. Once again, feel that energy into the legs, lifting the kneecaps up. And so the focus being this core strength and alignment focus for today's practice. Kneeling plank cobra or chaturanga, upward facing dog. Keep the legs active as you open. And then return to downward facing dog. Anytime you need recovery, feel free to take child's pose. Always settle here for a couple of breaths. Come back to that length and alignment through the spine. So on the next inhale, step your right foot forward. Let's take a kneeling lunge this round. So bring the back knee down, keep the toes tucked under. Look forward with the chest, find this length into the spine. On the in-breath, sweep both arms up. And as we shift the hips forward, keep your left arm reaching up. Take your right arm around behind and take a hold of the outside of your left hamstring. And so we're starting to get more opening into the ribs. More length into the spine. Dropping the shoulders down away from the ears. And on the exhale, take your left elbow over the right knee, setting up for this little kneeling lunge first. And so just using the first round to get that movement into the midline, use the hands into this prayer position. And then from here, if you want to start to energize the back leg, lift the knee up into twisting prayer. And so we're starting to work the foundations from the base, moving up, twisting in. On the inhale, crescent lunge, just as a transition, inhale, reach the arms up, find your balance. And then on the exhale, bring both hands back down to the mats. Take your right heel up into three-legged dog, and we're going to settle here for 3 breaths. And so find this length into the spine. Taking the breath down the outside of your supporting leg. So that line of fascia, TFL, that usually gets quite tight on a lot of people. And then from here, make your way into fallen star. So bring your right knee under towards the left elbow. Extend out through the heel. Then open into this side plank variation. So you want to lift the hips up, ground down through the supporting arm, elbow and wrist underneath the shoulder joint. Then you can start to reach your top arm, your left arm forward. Stay really active into the legs. Good, bring both hands back down to the mat, tiger curl, knee into the nose. And then from here, setting up for warrior 2. Ground the back foot down, open the arms out. Good job, settle here for a few breaths. And so get nice and low into the legs. Arms out strong, bring the back arm behind into this half bind. So lock into the top of the quadricep, flip the front palm up if you wish. I like this variation here, so we're opening across chest and shoulders. Settle with the breath. On the next inhale, reverse the warrior. Just create 1 breath for space through the front of the ribs. And then as you exhale, return back to the low lunge, frame the front foot. Nice and low into the front leg. Step forward into the fold. On the inhale, sweep the arms out and up. On the exhale, fold forward all the way back down. Halfway lift. Make your way into high plank. Move through chaturanga, kneeling plank, cobra, or upward facing dog, whatever you prefer. And then we'll meet and settle here in downward facing dog. Recovery in child's pose if you need to. Take a moment to settle with the breath. You can already start to feel the heat rise in the body, especially as we work into those bigger leg postures, incorporate some twists. And quite often I find that if we have a slightly slower practice, we create even more heat by having to focus and engage. On the next inhale, left leg steps forward, kneeling lunge. Bring the back knee down, but keep the toes tucked under. And then on the inhale, bring both arms up. And so once again, start to work this length into the spine, this opening into the ribs. So right arm stays up, left arm reaches around behind to the outside of your back hamstring. And so we're opening the chest, we're lifting, we're lengthening. One more breath on the exhale. Take your right elbow over the left knee. Ready for twisting prayer. Start kneeling first. And so use the elbow over the knee. Lock in as we create the twist. You can stay here kneeling. Otherwise, if you like, you can lift the back knee. And so get really energetic into the back leg. Find that sense of foundation and stability, strong core. On the inhale, crescent lunge, the transition, lifting up. And then as you exhale, folding forward. Return to three-legged dog, so take your left heel up this time. Settle here for 3 breaths, find this length into the spine. Extending out through the heel. Taking the breath down the outside of your supporting leg. And then bring the knee under the body into fallen star, so knee to the elbow. Then extend out through the heel, lift and open. So remember, shoulder stacked above the wrist and the elbow. You might even want to take the top arm, reach forward as far as you can. Keep lifting the hips up. So remember, strong core focus, activation and energy. And then bring both hands back down, knee to nose, tiger curl. Step forward into warrior 2. Ground the back foot down. Good, open the arms out. Nice work, settle here, get low into the legs, open the arms out wide. Then from here, bring the back arm around into this half bind variation. Flip the front palm, settle here, so we're opening the chest, relaxing into the shoulders. We're settling with the breath. Nice, on the in-breath, flip and reverse. For a breath to open the front. Then as you exhale, bring both hands back down to the mat. Look forward, step forward, we fold. Breath in, rise up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift into high plank. Choose your variation as you continue to flow. Active legs through upward facing dog. And then exhale into downward facing dog. Nice work there. Bring the toes together. Let's take a moment to settle here into a close downward facing dog, and then split the knees out wide. Return to a wide child's pose. And then this time, we're going to take a little bit of recovery, so relax into the shoulders and the arms. If you're a little bit tighter into the lower back and you need some support, you can stack the hands together to rest the forehead. Otherwise, from there, if you can bring the forehead down to rest onto the mat. We're going to settle here for about 5 to 7 breaths. And so just take a moment to stay there. So what you want to do is just come back to the breath. Just feel the body settle. Just notice what you notice, the sensations and feelings around the hips, the sensations and feeling across the shoulders and the arms. And so we're going to get ourselves ready to move into our second round. So if you need to grab a quick drink, feel free to grab a little drink. And then we'll come back to meet in downward facing dog. And so from here, when you're ready. And so the second round through, we just start to add a little bit more challenging postures with the leg strength. But you've already learned the variations on round 1. And so what I like to do is layer through the rounds. And so if anything gets a little bit too difficult, you can always come back to the variation we had on the first round. And so when you're ready, inhale, take the right heel up. Step forward into the low lunge, keep the back knee lifted. And then from here, take a little twist and rotation in. And then reverse the lunge, so bring your front arm up as your back arm reaches all the way around behind. Maintain your balance here. Good job. So really strong into the core. It's where we get that extra core focus, balance, proprioception through the body. Opening the ribs, maybe a slight lean backwards. Then on your next exhale, twisting prayer lunge. So take the left elbow over the front knee. Bring the palms together, lock your back knee out. So remember, we want to drop into those strong foundations. Draw the belly button in. And then twist with the breath. Use the breath to create softness through the midline. You might even like to look up. Good job. On the inhale, sweep the arms up. Crescent lunge is the transition. And then as you exhale, palms to the mat. And so return to three-legged dog. Take the right heel up on the in-breath. Settle here for 3 breaths. Focusing on more length through the body, not necessarily more height though. And so focus on creating this elongation through the body. Then on your next exhale, take the knee under the body into fallen star. And so on the second round through, you might even like to add the variation where you can lift your front foot up. And so you engage the inner thigh, really active into your back leg. Strong fire through the core. Then come back to tiger curl, knee to nose. Warrior 2. Step forward, ground the back foot down. Open the arms out. So take a moment to settle in here. Find that width across the shoulder blades. Back arm around behind into the half bind. So you can stay here like we did in round 1. Otherwise, if you'd like to, take a breath in, open the front ribs, and then as you exhale, you can bring the hand to the elbow or reach down to the inside of the front foot into this half bound angle. And so what I like to do is use the back of the tricep on the inside of the knee and then start to leverage that so we open the top shoulder, so we're stacking the ribs. Active into the back leg. You might even like to take bound angle for the last couple of breaths without losing that alignment into the spine. One more breath. On the inhale, reverse the warrior. And then on the exhale, bring both palms back down to the mat. We're going to settle here into a long pyramid pose, so take a breath in. And then as you exhale, straighten out through the front leg. And settle here for a few breaths, just create some nice length into the front hamstring. Just relax into the shoulders. You might even like to direct the breath to that space between the shoulder blades, the upper back. On the next inhale, step forward, feet together. And then as you exhale, fold. Breath in, rise up. Reaching all the way out through the fingertips, nice and steady. Exhale, fold forward. So we have a nice slow pace, staying with the breath. Halfway lift on the inhale. High plank, you can go straight into chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And then return to downward facing dog. Settle here for 3 breaths. We continue our last round on the left hand side. Recovering in child's pose if you need to. Listen to the body, notice the breath. Be aware of any changes that you notice. On the next in-breath, left heel lifts up, 3-legged dog. Step forward into the low lunge. Keep the back knee lifted if you like. Otherwise, bring the knee down if you need a bit of support. Take a twist and rotation in. Engage through the core. Find your balance on the inhale. Bring the front arm up. Take the back arm behind to the outside of the hamstring. Keep the balance. Drop the left shoulder down as you reach the right arm up. One more breath. And on the exhale, elbow across the knee into twisting prayer. So engage the back leg. Move from the belly button to twist in. Keep the front leg at 90 degrees. So you've got those strong legs to create the foundation and support of the body. Next in-breath crescent lunge is a transition. Inhale, reach up. As you exhale, bring the hands back down to the mats. Nice and steady, three-legged dog. Left heel goes up. Settle here for 3 breaths. Focus on that length down the outside of your supporting leg. And then bring the knee across the body into fallen star. Extend out through the heel. Lift and open. And so you might like to stay here in this variation. Otherwise you might like to lift the foot up. And so switch on inner thigh. Stay active into the core. Good job. Hold on. Almost there. Tiger curl, knee to nose. Warrior 2. Ground the back foot down. Open the arms out. Got a bit of heat in the body now. Settle in. Stay with the breath. Balance the arms out. Back arm around behind into the half bind. Open your right shoulder. Front arm open. And so you can stay here. Otherwise, if you lift and open, create the space. And then as you exhale, you can make your way into the half bound angle. And so if you settle here, then just focus, open the chest, elbow to the inside of the thigh. And so you can even just do a little self-assist, think about opening the chest up, stacking the ribs, creating that space. If you do have the space and you want to take bound angle for the last few breaths, you can reach under. Let's keep the chest open. Use the breath to create the shape into the body. Flip and reverse. Open the front. Exhale, bring both hands back down to the mat. Breath in to find length into the body, low lunge. And then exhale into this long pyramid pose. Settle here for a few breaths. Create length and space into the front hamstring. Good job, get that length into the spine. Soften the knee on the in-breath, step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Reaching all the way out through the fingertips. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Step back, high plank or chaturanga. Strong through the body. And then return to downward facing dog. Settle here for a couple of breaths to complete the flow. And then from here, make your way into a close child's pose. Knees together. Relax the toes back. Take the palms facing up. And then as you fold forward, eventually bring your forehead down to rest onto the mat. If you do need to create a little pillow for the forehead, you can stack the fists together or stack the hands together in front if you have the space. Arms around behind, relax into the neck and shoulders. And then from here, just think about directing the breath into the space between the shoulder blades. Relax the neck. Settle with the breath. And then when you're ready, slowly sitting upright onto the heels. Then bring the palms together into the lap. Maybe close the eyes down for a moment. Soften into the shoulders. Just take a moment, notice how the body feels. It's a moment to come back to center. Good job. And so we're going to move into seated twists next. And so you can start by sitting on the heels. And then from here, what you're going to do is shift the hips over to your right. So you'll have the feet out to the left. And then bring your left leg over the top into seated twist. And so you want to keep your top foot down flat. Just take a moment to find this center and alignment through the spine. Left arm around behind. And then take your right arm reaching up. And so just take a couple of breaths here to find this length into the spine. And so think tailbone drawing down, use the breath to elongate through the body. And then as you exhale, you can start to twist and then bring the hand around or the forearm around the top of the thigh. And so think about lifting from the sternum. So lift the chest up. And then as you twist, think about leading with the heart space. So rather than just looking over the back shoulder, we're going to work this with the breath. And so think inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, we can gently begin to deepen the twist. Settle there and then continue. Inhale, lift. Exhale, deepen the twist. Just continue to move with the breath. Use the breath to shape the body. Inhale, lift. Exhale, gently soften. Just notice how much more space, how much more movement you get as you allow the breath to lead the way. One more breath. And then as you exhale, slowly release, come back to the center and just gently twist the other way for a moment. Just a little counter twist. Good job, come back to the center. And so from here, come back to the middle and then stake the feet over the other side. So we sit off to your left and bring the right foot over the top. So take a moment to settle here. Foot grounded, hips grounded. Right arm around behind. You might notice there's a bit of a difference. This is definitely a bit tighter on this side for me. Inhale, lift the arm up, get that length into the spine. And then exhale, start to twist and then bring the arm around the top of the thigh. And so once again, connect with the move with the breath. And so inhale being uplifting. And then the exhale having that sense of softening. So just using the breath to gently move into a deeper twist rather than feeling the need to want to get to the full movement in the twist, really using the breath. The more that we focus on the breath, the more space we create, the more softness we maintain and hold on to. And so if you're a bit tight through thoracic spine, if you lack mobility through the middle of the upper back, then these twists, and especially longer twists, are so beneficial. Continue to use the breath, continue to very gently and subtly adjust. One more breath. And then on the exhale, twist back the other way. This little counter release. Good job, and then come back to the center. Let's take a moment to come back to neutral spine. Relax the palms together into the lap. Relax the shoulders down. Settle with the breath. And so from here we're going to make our way into butterfly fold. And so bring the feet around to the front, soles of the feet together. And then take the knees out wide. So we want to open into the hips a little bit here. And so as we exhale, fold forward, I like to take the palms facing up. And so think about lengthening from the lumbar spine. You might even like to bring the palms together into prayer, hands out in front. So we're going to settle here for about 10 breaths. And you might even have the elbows over the top of the shins around the ankles. And so you almost use them to gently encourage length without pulling forward. And then take the breath through the length of the spine. And so we begin this process of calming the body, calming the nervous system, slowing everything down. We've had quite a bit of fire and heat in the practice today, and so we want to create that sense of balancing everything out. Two more breaths. And then from here, slowly begin to roll up. And then if you need to shuffle forward a little bit, shuffle forward a little bit. So you've got the feet up at the top of the mat. So we're going to do a reverse butterfly crunch to make our way down to the mat. And so have the feet just at the top, extend out through the arms. You can make a pistol grip with the fingertips, engage through the core, and then slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Keep the energy in the feet. Keep the inner thighs active. And slowly rolling all the way down. And then extend out through the arms, extend out through the legs. Like we did at the very start of practice, come back to this center and alignment through the spine. You can flex the feet. And then from here, bring the hands down beside the body, legs in the air. And so first variation here is you can take the hands or a block underneath the tailbone. Just take a moment to settle here. And so if you have a shoulder stand in your practice, then you've got space to go there now. If not, you can just settle here for the next 10 breaths or so with the legs in the air. Really nice way to help calm the nervous system. Otherwise, if you do have shoulder stand in your practice, feel free to make your way there now. And so by bringing the hands in to support the lower back, keep the chin tucked in. Keep the legs active, and then extending all the way up through the feet. Keep the chin tucked in. And just maintain a balance and alignment through the body. Settle with the breath. And then from there, when you're ready, bring the knees into the forehead, hands to support, then slowly rolling down one vertebrae at a time. From here, bring the soles of the feet together. Just make your way into supine butterfly. So knees out to the side, palms facing up. You might like to place your right hand on the belly, left hand on the heart. Just relax the neck, relax the jaw. Let's take a moment here to settle with the breath. And if you'd like to finish off with knees into the chest or happy baby pose, you can take the hands to the inside of the feet or hands over the tops of the toes, whatever you prefer. Maybe the hands around the outside of the feet. Just keep the shoulders down, relax the neck. You might even like to take a few little movements side to side, just releasing into the lower back. Just feeling the heart rate settle, feeling the whole body begin to slow right down. And then when you're ready, bring the feet in, extend out through the legs. Let's finish off with a few minutes in Shavasana. And so like we started a practice creating full circle. So taking the feet roughly hip distance apart, relax the legs, take the arms out away from the body, palms facing up. Just take a moment to find that sense of center and alignment through the spine. Any little adjustments that you need to. And then from here, you can tuck the chin in slightly, relax the jaw. And from here, you might like to just gently scan the body. From feet to fingertips, and as you move through the legs, as you move through the lower back, just notice if there's any tightness, any tension, anything you're holding onto in the body physically. So we can consciously begin to release, let go, switch off. It's providing the space for our body to take this conscious rest and recovery physically and mentally. In this place of energetical realignment and rebalancing. We begin to implement the processes of the practice. Eventually letting go of the breath. Just allowing the body to rest in this state of complete relaxation. If you notice the mind begins to wander, just gently draw your focus to the breath. And when you're ready, gently begin to deepen the inhale. Creating a tiny bit of movement into the hands and the feet as we re-energize the arms and legs. And you might like to take a big stretch all the way up over the head, reaching out from feet to fingertips. And eventually bring the knees into the chest. And then when you're ready, rolling over to the right-hand side, just take a moment to settle there. Just keep the eyes closed down so you maintain this sense of internal focus and awareness without being distracted by any external objects. And then when you're ready, slowly make your way into whatever seated position you prefer to close practice with, either cross-legged or kneeling. Just take a moment to settle here. You can take the palms resting together in the lap. You might like to take the palms face up, thumb and index finger together. And with closed or relaxed eyes, just take a moment to settle with the breath. It's always nice to take some time here at the end of practice to sit and be still. Just observe and notice what you notice. Bringing your awareness back to all those different elements and layers, physically, energetically, and mentally. And taking the time to notice what is different now from when you started practice, and how that feels different in the body. Just taking the time to acknowledge all those little changes we make each time we arrive here on the mat. And then when you feel ready, bring the palms together at the heart space. You can close your practice by taking a clearing breath in through the nose. And relax the jaw and exhale. Just find your own natural rhythm to the breath. And bowing the forehead to the fingertips in honor of your practice. Namaste. Thanks for joining me today. Any questions, please feel free to reach out on Instagram, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.